Colin, welcome home. Welcome to
Thanks,
Dublin.
Esther.
Tell us about Saving Mr. Banks and what drew you to this particular film.
The script was just one of the most moving and kind of whimsically funny scripts that I ever read. It was really lovely, and you know, some scripts you read them and you put them down and you get very analytical about them and break down whether you liked it or you believed it or was it well paced, and this kind of defied any of those kind of classifications. It was just so moving. It really was, and I think the film is like a beautiful translation of what was written by Kelly Marcel, and the character was gorgeous. I always felt like a character I hadn't played before, and it was kind of an immaculate experience reading it. I just really put it down. It stayed with me for a very long time.
Did you know much about it's the story of the fight between Walt Disney and P.L. Travers to adapt?
Had no idea.
For Mary Poppins. No,
I think it was. I think that chapter of bringing the books, the Mary Poppins character, from the pages of P.L. Travers' writings to the screen was such a painful experience for everyone involved that they just buried any stories of it, because it was never in any books really, or not that I'm aware of, it was written about. I knew nothing about it. But yeah, for 20 years or 25 years, Walt Disney had made a promise to his daughters who loved the Mary Poppins character that he was going to bring her to the screen, and being the all-powerful kind of mogul that he was, he thought he could follow through on that, but he came upon a very resistant writer in the form of P.L. Travers, and she didn't want to know about Disney touching her character Mary Poppins. She didn't want to know about, you know, the crassness of Disneyland and the vulgarity of kind of the American sentiment that he was going to bring to it, and but then I think she found herself broke, and after 20 years of sending a telegram every fortnight, I think for 20 years, she finally decided to, against her better judgment, she thought, go over to Los Angeles, to Hollywood, and do 3 weeks of script meetings, and it was a disaster. But the film puts into context why it was the way it was, and it's a really gorgeous human story set to the backdrop of the creation of this film, which of course has become extremely recognised around the world. Yeah,
and you play the author's father, of course, in flashback in the film. Really, really emotional role. Was this challenging for you? Was it hard for you to play?
It was challenging in the loveliest of ways. I mean, it really was an honour to work on it, just because, I don't know, it was just dealt with very respectfully. All the relationships were dealt with so respectfully and very honestly, and it didn't shirk away from any of the more painful and any of the more tragic elements of the characters' relationships. At the same time, I felt as a reader and then as an actor and then seeing it as a viewer, I never felt manipulated by the film or like it was too heavy-handed. So it was I mean, a very tragic character. Travers Goff, I found him to be very, very sad. Somebody who was racked with kind of this overwhelming sense of melancholy and self-pity and couldn't get out of it, and in one sense was a really good father and instilled the importance of imagination and play with to his kids, and in the other sense couldn't put down the bottle and died an early death, I think at the age of 42, from alcoholism, you know, acute alcoholism, and really carved in his daughter Ginty, particularly carved in her a certain amount of life memories that were too hard to really deal with in any other way than put it into her work, but really formed, as parents do and as happens as kids, you know, you really hardwire stuff very quickly and very easily, and it goes very deep and it comes out in some way, shape or form later in life, and I think it treats that idea in a really, really smart and really beautiful way.
Left and 1, 2, 3, new town, new job, new bank, new life. Come on, my little ducklings.
I believe you mentioned earlier you had a party in your gaff.
Yeah.
For the cast of the film.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was cool because I knew I wasn't getting. I got to work with Ruth Wilson, whose husband I played, and that was cool. But I was a big fan of Jason Schwartzman and Paul Giamatti and Tom Hanks and Emma Thompson and Bradley Whitford and various other actors, and I knew I wasn't going to get to work with them, so I just said, do you want to come over to the house before we started shooting? And we had a little bit of grub, and I put on Mary Poppins the film, and it was all supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. It was lovely. Yeah, we had a really lovely evening, so it was cool. I got to meet some actors that I'm a really big fan of.
Sounds like really good.
It was cool. It was good crack. Yeah, I didn't know whether to turn the film on or not because everyone was getting on so well, and I was like, I'm going to be a knob now and say, come on in and we'll watch the film. But bit by bit, they all kind of decided that they wanted to see it, so on it went, and it went on till about 2 in the morning, and everyone's sitting around on the floor in the living room, 20 people watching Mary Poppins. So it was kind of cool.
Did you grow up watching the film? Did you have strong memories?
So I was more Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, but not that you have to be one or the other. It's not really a Beatles, Rolling Stones question, but I do remember seeing it. I think the animation always kind of threw me off, even as a kid.
Yeah.
It was so magic already, you know. And not as a kid, you're aware of terms like the fourth wall, but I think it did kind of break the fourth wall.
The dancing thing. Yeah. Too much.
Yeah, but if Disney didn't put the animation in, he still would have been able to say Walt Disney's Mary Poppins, but it wouldn't have been Walt Disney's Mary Poppins the way it was with the animation put into it. But it didn't. To me, it didn't need it so much. It was all so magic. It's an amazing feat of artistic and technical engineering that they created. They melded real life. It was amazing.
Yeah.
But it did. The film was so magic. It felt like it didn't kind of need it. But
you're getting an award in New York next week. Congratulations on that.
Thanks very much.
It's an advocacy award.
Yeah.
For the work you've done in kind of promoting the fact that your son James has special needs.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about James, how he's doing at the moment?
He's magic. He is doing really well. James is 10 now. He had his 10th birthday this past September, and he's just brilliant. Yeah, he's in school and he's loving it, and he has his mates, and he's just doing so well. He works very hard with therapists, and he's just a really healthy and happy boy. Yeah, who's walking around and goes to the fridge when he wants a yogurt and takes it out, and he's magic.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
It's good to hear he's doing so well.
He is. He's doing really well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So proud of him.
You've got a few more movies coming up.
Yeah.
You've got Solace with Anthony Hopkins.
Solace next year. Winter's Tale, which will be, I think, out on Valentine's Day in America. I haven't seen any of those.
That sounds like
Winter's Tale was cool.
One.
The Winter's Tale was fun, and it's some very fantastical elements to it. So I wonder how it'll work. There was a bit of CGI stuff to be done because we couldn't find an actual flying horse. So that'll be interesting to see that one. A really lovely cast in that as well. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, kept busy.
That's brilliant. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Esther. It's great to see you, love. Always.